Hello everyone and welcome to another update video on the Airlinesim Let's Play. I have some very good news today. What is the good news? Well, let me get into that. Remember when I was talking about that Saab 2000 issue? You might already know what I am going to talk about, but if you don't, then let me repeat. Saab 340B Plus is an airplane that we were using up until now. It's a 37-seater with a decent range and very good efficiency. However, for most of our routes, this plane proved to be quite small. The main problem with this is that there is only one step up in the same class or same maintenance category, and that is Saab 2000. However, the Saab 2000, all of them were owned by CRX Express up until 2 days ago, when I noticed that there was a Saab 2000 on the market. I quickly grabbed it, bought it, and set it on some of my routes. I was wondering what happened, so I contacted CRX Express and he confirmed that he's phasing them out. The Saab 2000 airplanes are getting old for him. He is looking for something newer, but for us the Saab 2000 is perfect, as we are a small company and this fits our strategy very well. So at this point I got two of them. I managed to buy two of them, though admittedly this has some downsides. I'll get into that in about a second, but for now let us rejoice in the fact that I actually managed to get two large turboprop airplanes. The Saab 2000, as I'm using it, is having 45 economy seats and 9 business seats. Both of the planes have the same setup, and what I'm doing with them is trying to give them as tight schedule as possible. So you can see that their maintenance ratio is somewhere around 131%, which is awesome. And the airplane is actually servicing 5 routes per day, which is kind of a large amount for one airplane. But all of these are relatively short. I went with the strategy that I searched for the most demanded or most booked routes, and I substituted the Saab 340B Plus with the Saab 2000. This means that this Saab is going to Mukawa, I believe 3 times per day, 1 time per day to Aden, or 4 times per day to Mukawa. Let me check that. I can't remember how I decided on it last time. 1 times to Aden, and 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, 4 times to Mukawa and 1 time to Aden. The thing is though that I actually added 1 route to Mukawa, which means that we only have 4 extra routes opened, 4 new routes opened, because, and I mentioned that right now, I opened a new route to Mukawa. Together that's 5. Now each of these flights has a huge chance to be fully booked. You can see that the numbers are very good. These 2 flights will be done today, while the rest will be done tomorrow and on the 17th. So these for example will get 2 extra cycles of bookings, which means they are most likely going to get completely full. This is the closest thing we have to completely full at this point, and as you can see the profit is somewhere over 5,000 Airlinesim bucks, which could go as high as, well, almost 5,500. When we compare that to the original Saab 340B Plus that we were using, a fully booked route is giving us only some 3,144 Airlinesim bucks, which you can see is a huge difference. It's basically a difference of over half of the profit. The second airplane that I grabbed yesterday, I didn't have time to schedule it yet. I just sent it home a few minutes ago, so it's going to come to Sana'a today in the evening. It was stationed in Billund, and I think it's going to follow pretty much the same strategy as the airpoint before. I think I'm going to set one of these Mokawa flights to it, but I think it will mainly gain some flights from Aden. And I was wondering what we might want to do with the other airplane, the Saab 340B that's going to be free. Well, that's a question now. I am thinking of opening a few new routes just to test them out. We shall see how that's going to work out. The original airplane, you can see, open a new route to Thais, which is a domestic route to a one-bar airport. And I believe this is the last one that is in Yemen that we haven't serviced, so we should be servicing all of our domestic airports at this point. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we are servicing every airport in Yemen at this point. That's decent. That is decent. So the free airplane is servicing Thais. I added another route to Hodeidah, one more to Aden, and one more to Al Gardaya. The new free airplane, the second one that the Saab will substitute, will probably search for some more domestic flights. Attack is a nice choice, maybe. I might also send it to Daman, depending on how our seed load factors will be. The thing is, we are doing very well as far as the numbers are going. I know that it stinks to say that I'm doing a good job, but I think I'm doing a good job. Look at that. These are the numbers for the last week, and the one that we checked before. You can see that we serviced more airports, we operated more flights, we had a larger total revenue. Revenue per flight increased by 4.6%. Revenue from passenger transport increased by 15.38%. We transported 16.17 more passengers, and the seat load factor went up to 81.29%, which is even now increasing to 82.29%. Awesome. The only thing that is the bad news is that revenue per passenger slightly decreased, but not by a lot. The week is not yet over, and we are over 800,000 in profit. So when you look at that, that's a huge step. You can see that you can do a lot with careful management in the game. Now, what's the downside of the Saabs? The thing is, I didn't have cash to grab them, so I had to take a loan. At this point, the company owns 2 Saabs, but had to take a loan of about 8 million Airlinesim dollars. I'm going to do a thing that is a bit tricky. I'm going to wait for a week or two and see how the 2 Saabs will change our profit. If they manage to increase the profit by wait, how much? Yeah, you can see that we are paying about 350,000 per month in interest and loan payment. If the 2 Saabs that I have grabbed, and I'm pretty confident they do, earn us more than that, then the issue is settled and we will grab another one as soon as possible. If not, then it was a bad choice. However, bad choice in the fact that they're not as profitable as the loans that I had to take to get them. Originally, I wished for about 3 Saabs 2000s, so I might grab another one in a week or 2, but at this point I'm going to just let the company fly, just tweak a thing here, tweak a thing there, see how it works, and after I'm done with that, I will get back to you folks with some report. For now, I'm pretty content with setting the second Saab on its route and leaving the company be, because it needs some time to deal with this. Again, as I said, I'm going to tweak a thing here, tweak a thing there, try to increase the profit. But as it stands now, the company is pretty much a moneymaker, and I need to give it time to make some money before we do another expansion, which will most likely be grabbing another Avro or the Saab, as I mentioned before, but we shall see. I'm not entirely sure if there is enough space for it now, because getting a larger airplane when you don't have enough demand is not such a good choice. It could be, but it might not be. So thank you for your attention. I'm glad that these videos are getting more and more optimistic, and that I'm proving to you that it's possible to fly an airline in a country like Yemen.